You know how some foods instantly take you back to childhood? For me, it's the chicken pot pie. That golden, flaky crust, the creamy filling, tender chicken mixed with veggies. It's pure comfort on a plate. But here's the thing, order it at the wrong place, and what you get can feel less like nostalgia and more like heartbreak. Today, we're cutting through the mystery. I've gathered reviews, checked ratings, and combed through real customer experiences to rank chicken pot pies from some of the most popular chain restaurants in America. From the absolute disasters to the pies worth every calorie, here's the ultimate ranking of chain restaurant chicken pot pies. Let's dig in. Number 9, KFC. We're starting off at the very bottom with a name that honestly shocked me. KFC. Yep, the fried chicken empire. You'd think if anyone could master a chicken pot pie, it would be them, right? On paper, it looks promising. They're well-known chicken, carrots, peas, and potatoes wrapped in a flaky crust. But the reviews tell a completely different story. Customers complain the filling tastes more like salty gravy than anything else. The potatoes are mushy, the sauce is overpowering, and the chicken, well, that's the real scandal. Over and over, people said the pie was practically chicken-free. Imagine cutting into your pot pie and finding mostly peas, carrots, and mashed potatoes. One reviewer said, "I've had frozen grocery store pies that taste better." Another wrote, in frustration, "There was no chicken at all, just veggies and mashed potatoes stuffed inside." To be fair, some folks admitted the crust wasn't terrible, but let's face it, if the dish is called a chicken pot pie, you'd better deliver chicken. Sadly, KFC missed the mark entirely, which lands them in last place. Our advice? Stick to the bucket. Number 8. Cracker Barrel. Next up is a restaurant built on comfort food and nostalgia. Cracker Barrel. With its cozy fireplaces and rocking chairs, it feels like the perfect place to enjoy a warm, homemade-style pot pie. The menu makes it sound incredible. Slow-simmered chicken, vegetables in creamy sauce, topped with a golden crust, and served with a biscuit. But when it hits the table, diners are often left scratching their heads. Instead of a real pie crust, many people say it's just a big cracker-like square sitting on top, not baked into the dish, just placed there like a lid you can lift right off. And the problems don't stop at presentation. The filling leans heavy on veggies and dough, but light on actual chicken. A lot of customers compared it more to vegetable soup with bread than a hearty pot pie. Worst of all, reports of undercooked dough. Multiple diners complained about raw, sticky bits that weren't even fully baked. One summed it up perfectly. Raw dough is a big yikes. So while Cracker Barrel nails the atmosphere and branding, their pot pie falls flat. Too much dough, not enough chicken, and sometimes even raw crust. That's a no-go in my book. Number 7. P.J. Clark's. Now let's step things up with a historic restaurant. P.J. Clark's. This spot has been serving since the 1880s and was once frequented by legends like Frank Sinatra and Nat King Cole. With a legacy like that, expectations are sky-high. Their pot pie even features a unique cheddar cheese crust, which sounds amazing. And here's where things get tricky. This dish completely divides people. Some diners absolutely love it. They describe it as creamy, comforting, and perfect on a cold day. Others rave about the generous portions. But then come the negative reviews. Several customers complained the crust was dry, almost like it had been made from frozen store-bought dough. Others said the filling was watery and under-seasoned, leaving it more like a bland soup than a rich pie. Basically, ordering the chicken pot pie here feels like rolling the dice. You might get a hearty, delicious dish, or you might end up with disappointment. And when you're paying P.J. Clarke's prices, inconsistency is a deal breaker. That's why they land at number 7. Number 6, Boston Market. At number 6, we've got Boston Market. If there's one place that should absolutely crush a chicken pot pie, it's them. After all, they're known for rotisserie chicken, and yes, that's exactly what they put inside their pie. Chunks of their signature roasted chicken, wrapped in a golden crust, and served with cornbread on the side. On paper, it sounds like a dream. For a while, it actually was. Some diners still rave about how flavorful it is, praising the flaky crust and rich, savory filling. One customer even joked they'd need to check their sodium levels later, but it was totally worth it. But here's where it gets sad. Loyal customers who've loved Boston Market's pot pie for years say the quality has taken a nosedive. Recent reviews complain of greasy texture, scraps of dark meat instead of tender chicken, and an oily filling that feels heavy instead of comforting. One longtime fan wrote, "I used to order this all the time. Now it just tastes like leftovers dumped into a crust." That drop in quality is what hurts the most. This pie had potential to be a top contender, but inconsistency has knocked it down. Sometimes you'll get a solid pot pie, but other times you'll get a greasy disappointment. And for that reason, Boston Market lands at number 6. Number 5. Greg's Restaurants and Tavverns. Sliding into the middle of the pack is a regional chain you might not know unless you're from Rhode Island. Greg's Restaurants and Tavverns. This family-run spot has been around since the 70s and is known for a giant menu that covers just about everything. Burgers, seafood, tacos, and of course, chicken pot pie. The good news? Customers say the chicken and vegetables are fresh. That's a solid foundation. But the execution has some major flaws. Over and over, reviewers complained the crust was overbaked, leaving it tough instead of flaky. On top of that, the filling was often described as dry, with barely enough sauce to hold everything together. And then, there's the value. People said the portion was small for the price, making it feel like they didn't get their money's worth. One diner summed it up bluntly: good ingredients, bad execution, and way overpriced. So while Greg's avoids being a total disaster, the overcooked crust, lack of gravy, and underwhelming portion size keep it stuck in the middle. Number 4. Cheddars Scratch Kitchen. Now we're finally moving into the good stuff. At number 4, we have Cheddars Scratch Kitchen. And as the name suggests, everything here is made fresh in-house, including their chicken pot pie. This one stands out immediately. Diners describe the crust as golden, buttery, and perfectly flaky. The filling? Creamy sauce, big chunks of roasted chicken, and plenty of veggies. For many people, this is the first pot pie on the list that actually tastes like homemade. One review said, "It's just like the one you'd make at home, but better." That's about as good as it gets. Customers also praise the portion size, saying it's hearty, satisfying, and consistent every single time. Now, not everyone is head over heels. A handful of diners felt it was just okay, or thought there was slightly too much crust. But here's the difference. Those are minor, subjective complaints. No reports of raw dough, no missing chicken, no greasy mess. Just a well-made, reliable chicken pot pie. Cheddars earns its spot in the top 4 by delivering exactly what people want. A scratch-made dish that's comforting, hearty, and consistently good. Number 3. Marie Callender's. Kicking off the top 3 is a name practically synonymous with pie: Marie Callender's. For decades, they've been the go-to spot for all kinds of baked pies, both savory and sweet. So when it comes to chicken pot pie, expectations are sky high, and they deliver. Their Heartland chicken pot pie is a classic. Seasoned chicken, peas, carrots, and celery tucked inside a hand-pressed, flaky crust. And let's just say, diners love it. The crust is often called soft, buttery, and perfectly layered. The filling is creamy and generous, with big pieces of chicken that actually taste fresh. Some customers even said it's the best pot pie they've ever had in a restaurant. And because Marie Callender's knows their brand so well, they offer a combo where you can pair your savory pie with a slice of dessert pie. Comfort food heaven. But what keeps them from the #1 spot? Believe it or not, it comes down to temperature. Multiple reviewers mentioned that their pie wasn't served piping hot, just warm. And when you're craving comfort food, that makes a difference. It's a small flaw, but in a competition this tight, little details count. Still, Marie Callender's delivers an almost perfect pot pie and easily earns a spot in the top 3. Number 2. Mimi's Bistro and Bakery. In second place, we head to Mimi's Bistro and Bakery, a restaurant that blends American comfort food with French flair. This unique mix comes from the founder's time in France, and their chicken pot pie is the perfect example of that fusion. At its core, it has everything you'd expect: roasted chicken, potatoes, peas, and carrots. But the difference is in the sauce. Instead of a plain gravy, Mimi's uses a creamy herb blend that elevates the entire dish. Add a beautifully golden flaky pastry crust, and you've got a pie that diners rave about again and again. One customer said it best: the chicken pot pie and the salmon were the only dishes that stood out. Everything else was just okay. Imagine being so good at pot pie that it overshadows the rest of the menu. That's exactly the kind of reputation Mimi's has built. People call it rich, comforting, and a dish that can turn your whole day around. No complaints about missing chicken, no issues with greasy filling, no undercooked crust, just consistent quality and flavor. Mimi's earns the runner-up spot by proving that a little French technique can take a humble American classic and turn it into something extraordinary. Number 1. Claim Jumper Steakhouse and Bar. And now, the crown belongs to a surprising champion. The best chicken pot pie from a chain restaurant in America comes from a steakhouse. Claim Jumper Steakhouse and Bar. Since opening in 1977, they've kept the same exact recipe for their chicken pot pie. No shortcuts, no changes, just the same beloved dish. Baked fresh every morning. What makes it stand out? The secret ingredient: mushrooms. That earthy, savory flavor gives their filling a depth you won't find anywhere else. The reviews for this dish are glowing. Customers call it divine, heavenly, and the best pot pie I've ever had. The crust is flaky perfection, the sauce is rich and flavorful, and the chicken is always tender. And here's the funniest part. The only complaint people mentioned is that it's almost too hot. One diner wrote, "I've burned my mouth more than once, but I keep ordering it." That's not really a complaint. That's a sign of freshness. With consistent rave reviews, a time-tested recipe, and flavors that keep people coming back for decades, Claim Jumper takes the #1 spot as the undisputed king of chicken pot pies. And there you have it, our full ranking of chain restaurant chicken pot pies, from the chickenless disasters at the bottom to the steakhouse surprise at the very top. If there's one takeaway, it's that making a great pot pie isn't about a famous name, it's about using fresh ingredients, balancing that crust-to-filling ratio, and serving it hot and comforting every time. So, what do you think? Did your favorite make the list? Or is there a local spot near you that deserves recognition? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And remember, this channel isn't just about ranking food, it's about finding the best value and the biggest comfort without wasting your money. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more honest reviews, hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next ranking or review. We've got plenty more comfort foods, hidden gems, and money-saving tips coming your way. And if you've got a favorite chicken pot pie spot, chain or local, drop it in the comments. Who knows? Maybe it'll make the next list.